Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube channel. I'm here with the young assassin, Tian Lu. We're going to go over break down this technique, which is an Achilles grip from a straight ashi, and looking for a variation of kani basami called a victor roll. If my opponent comes into me, and then ending with either the leg lace, or if your opponent manages to slip the primary leg, finishing with an Aoki lock. Okay. So once we get into more of an intermediate level in leg locking, when you get into straight ashi garamis, situations like this, your concern becomes less Achilles locks and wrestling up. That tends to be the main option and what you're looking for. And you're going to go back to the wrestling up option from a basic straight ashi garami when you're at a beginner level. Just all you can do is straight locks. As you move into intermediate level and then later into advanced, twisting locks open up. That's more the focus. So the best way to start attacking that is to first look for your leg lace. Okay, that's where you have the best starting control. So we use the straight ashi more to hunt for the leg lace. That's the main goal. And you use kani basami, variations of kani basami to do this. So a very common one is your opponent from here will come and look to push the foot up and try to smash you, try to come on top. This is very common. And usually they look for your trap. They look to really barrel over, grab your trap, and smash on top. And the idea is if they can strip this foot free, they can just smash you and pass the guard. So for example, if I didn't have this Achilles in place right here, he can just smash me, sprawl, and I get smashed and my guard gets passed. Okay. So whenever this sort of thing happens, he takes his hips off the floor and it opens up space for me to get under his center of gravity, and that's what I want to look to do. So from here, as he starts to peel that off, I'm going to keep this Achilles wrap, okay? And then as he comes up into me, I grab right here in this cross lat post position, okay? You can also use a cross shoulder post, that works fine too, or the cross lat, either one. This is probably a little better. Now, using this hook, I take my right foot and I start guiding myself so I can begin an inverting action. I do a garami roll over my right shoulder as I take my hook out. All right, so you can see now I'm underneath my opponent's center of gravity, right under his belly button. This hook, using this kind of reverse X position, shoots through. So we're essentially doing a double leg victor roll, all right? And then from there, I lock in, and my knee scissors behind his knee as we lock and take our opponent down and to the floor, okay? Let's do that one more time, so I'm gonna do it fast. Just see what it looks like in real time. So I'm right here. My opponent smashes, tries to come up, smash me. Boom, just like so, okay? Now, when I like to leg lace someone, there's two things I like to look for. First, the more bent this top leg is, the straighter the bottom leg is, the easier it is to finish my opponent, okay? So what I don't want is actually this straight and everything locked here. It's still strong from here, it's a little weaker. So I like to bend this out first before I punch in, okay? So get right behind my opponent's Achilles, just like so, on this side. Everything's right under my lat right here. I go elbow deep, right around the end of the lever, not short on it, right at the end of the lever at the heel, okay? Now, most people will lock wrist to wrist from here as they start looking for the breaking pressure. But it's actually to go all the way, figure four, and grab your opponent's heel is the way to go. So you get a much tighter lock, a much better breaking pressure. Now from here, I want to go on a diagonal curve whenever I'm doing this. So I don't want to go left, I want to go over my shoulder. So I create a spiraling torsion-like action, okay? So here I am, I spiral. At the same time, I lift my hips up. If I just lift my hips, you'll feel like knee bar pressure right there, okay? And at the same time, I spiral, and then we have incredible breaking pressure on my opponent's ankle and knee, okay, in the leg lace. Now, part two to this technique. The reason why the leg lace is so good is it hides my feet, and so my opponent can't attack me, and additionally I have control of two legs, so it's hard for him to start spinning and doing different actions. What it also is essentially is a cross ashi garami, where I have cross ashi attacks, like inside heel hook style attacks, and a straight ashi garami on top, with straight ashi garami attacks. So if one slips one leg or the other, we can go into attacks of the different form. In this case, my opponent does a good job of posting on my knee and slipping that knee out. Maybe my lock was a little loose, but that's okay. Now I've got attacks on this leg. We're in a straight ashi garami. I'm going to take my free hook and go into what's called a butterfly ashi, where the short hook lifts my opponent's knee. I keep this Achilles wrap, not with my elbow bowed out. It's not an Achilles lock, because here he can slip out. I wrap by pulling my elbow into my rib cage, and I bring my knuckles towards my opponent's shin. Now from here, I lift with my hook and get his heel right on my floating rib. With that heel on the floating rib, there's many different methods of finishing this, like so, like so. I personally like to go all the way up to my shoulder, okay, to tighten the grip and shorten the distance. And then from here, I use my torso. Now, when I finish this, I want my knee to drive into his knee this way. See, that gets a tap. And then the other aspect of it, again, is that spiraling action. If I just go to my side, it's okay. But I want to start going over my shoulder. So we create not like a tearing, but a spiraling torsion break, okay? That creates the most damage possible. So as I'm right here, watch how I go over my right shoulder. And then you can see here, if I let go of his leg, there's so much follow through on the attack. It's completely shatter his leg. If you enjoyed this video and you're hungry for more, make sure to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and to check out the website for more content and updates on the grand opening.